Okay, so I'm going to be recording a little bit of test here. 4 minutes and 52 seconds in about the latency in Fortnite and what's going on with Zero Build and regular build mode in Fortnite as far as latency goes. And I'm just going to cut this out. I figured I'd just do it live here. And I'll cut this clip out, but before I start playing. So, I'm going to go over this first. First thing I'm going to do is open up the latency tester script that I created, and it's going to test the latency to the Fortnite servers according to the ping probe. This ping probe right here. And I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize for the coughing, but so that resolves to that run. That run. Okay, so according to the ping probes that Epic Games has set up, we're in any East. Our ping should be roughly 28 milliseconds average. But the problem is when you join a zero build game, only zero build, your ping is about 60 to 80 milliseconds in game. When it should be the 25 to 28 milliseconds that they are showing you inside the game console. So I'm going to display what that is, what that looks like as far as in a PCAP sniffer trace. And I've also noticed that sometimes they're sending us to Iowa servers. Just zero build. Regular build mode is fine, and I'm going to display that. So if we do an NS lookup on this, you can see that all these 44.x addresses here are northeast ping probes. And these are ones are in, is it Oregon? I'm sorry, Ohio. Yeah. So we're going to be focusing on this 31 dot address, which the game uses inside of its ping probe. Okay, so given that we have those, I'm going to load the game, and I'm going to display what happens when we join a zero build game, and what happens when we join a regular build game, and where we're being sent geographically from a client server architecture. And I'm not really sure why they're doing this, but this is what it is. So I'm going to bring up my script that I wrote to capture Fortnite traffic. It's a PCAP, and it detects the executable, and then it starts recording the game traffic, just the game traffic packets. And claim this. I'll bring that back up. I'm going to change this to windowed mode so I can get in and out of it easier. We'll go to window full screen so I can tab out easily. Okay. Okay, so the PCAP's running. It's not capturing packets yet because it's just looking at games. The communication between the game servers, not all the TCP connections and other UDP connections I have going right now to all the CDN servers and all that. But so we're going to click the game icon, and you can see that inside they have a little ping probe, which is that 44.x address. And according to Fortnite, from my location right now to their servers in Virginia, my ping should be 26 milliseconds when I am in game. It shouldn't be 60 to 80. It should be 26 milliseconds. All right. So we're going to join zero build mode where this problem exists. And I'm going to hit play, and it's going to start capturing packets. It's going to tell me what server I'm being put in once I look at the sniffer. Sorry, not the sniffer, the PCAP. I'll try to mute when I'm coughing. Not feeling good, so. And I'm gonna join the server and then back out once I have enough data captured, just so I can, and then we'll do it again on the regular build mode to display the difference. So it's starting to capture the packets. Game server communication now. I only want to see my client talking to the game server. Okay. Ooh, look at this. This is even worse. We got 116 milliseconds in game. So I'm going to put this on the other monitor real quick while this continues to capture. Okay, now you can see in the game settings, my ping should be 26 milliseconds. However, in game, it's 88 milliseconds to 96. 60 to 80. Okay, it's still capturing the PCAP. I'm going to jump out, let this capture some frames. It already has enough data, by the way. We're still sticking at 50 to 60 ping. There's no packet loss. Okay, so I'm gonna back out of this game. I already have the data that I want. And I'm gonna go over here. And I'm going to, if I closed Fortnite, the Fortnite executable, the script will automatically exit, but I'm gonna keep it open just so I can do the next capture for the regular build mode. I'm gonna X out of here, and then I'm gonna go over here to my script, and I'm going to click another script that I wrote to basically look at that PCAP file and just find me the server IP. So this is the PCAP that I just captured. It's 1.3 megabyte. And I'm gonna open it. It's gonna go in, it's gonna check the IP. And it just told me what my server IP is right here. I have these hops hidden right here, obviously, so you guys don't see where I live and all that, but I wouldn't really care if you did, but you can see this actually might be going the Microsoft route. So I'm going to explain that as well if that's what we're seeing here. Sometimes we're sent to AWS in Virginia and we have horrible ping through an 18.x prefix. Other times we're sent to Microsoft Azure servers in Iowa for Zero Build for some particular reason, which is about, I think, like 1,300 miles more added on top. So that explains the latencies there. But let's see what this IP is, okay? We're going to check what subnet it's in. Okay, so here's the Microsoft Iowa reroute example. I'm in New Hampshire on the east coast of the United States. I'm joining a Zero Build server for Fortnite Battle Royale, and I'm being routed to Iowa for this particular scenario, which gives me that terrible ping we were just saying because I should be going to Virginia, not Iowa. Sometimes I've noticed that they leave this routing on for some time, and then it will route to AWS in Virginia. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen right now, but it's fine. We can still show the difference, but basically the same thing happens when they route to AWS Virginia through a particular prefix in the 18.x space. And that block is 18.88.0.0/19. Anytime we're routed in the block like that, which is the majority of their Fortnite Zero Build game traffic, that's where it's going to, that block. We go to AWS, and it's a terrible ping because I think there's asymmetrical routing coming back when the ping should be 26 milliseconds. We'll see if we can get that example, but this particular time we just joined that Zero Build, it's routing us to the Microsoft. They do route to Microsoft for regular build mode correctly in Virginia. And I'm gonna display that right now. So this was our Zero Build example. I'll do another one after for see if we can get the AWS example. If not, I have plenty of them recorded. And the issue that happens there. But so let's close this. Go back to the game. I'm gonna close. You can see the latency here through my network. All of my handoffs are good. This is the Microsoft handoff right here that we're going. This would go a different route. If it was the AWS path, it would go through our direct CDN pair to Amazon. But this is taking our Comcast route, and it just blows up in there because it's being rerouted to Iowa. So that's the Microsoft Iowa reroute example. I'm going to close this out. We're going to switch our mode to build mode, which does not have the problem. And we're going to join, and then I'm going to also open up my PCAP again. Let me get rid of the old capture. I'm going to delete that out of the folder. Okay, so this one's going to capture the... Now this is Battle Royale regular mode, non-zero build. And you can see the in-game ping. It's a little higher tonight than normal. We'll have to see what... I think we're probably going to a Microsoft server right now. But still, you're talking 25, 30 milliseconds to 40 milliseconds lower on this route for regular build. I already have enough data, so I'm going to exit out so we can look at the PCAP and get the IP subnet or block. I'm going to close this. I'm going to open up my server finder script. There's our PCAP that we just took. It's smaller because we didn't let it run, but that's okay. We're still going to get the server IP, and boom. I already know this might be an AWS range. So let's take that. Okay, Ohio. This is a new one. Let me just check this in one other location. Throwing me some wrenches tonight. Okay, so all right, Okay, so regular build mode is now being routed to Ohio. This might be the time in the weekend where we're at right now. We're on the weekend, and this particular time they might be routing all zero build traffic to Ohio in Iowa, which should not be occurring. But in a general sense, if I were to join another game or a couple more, depending on what time it is, it would send me to AWS in Virginia for the regular build mode. Of course, it's gonna do this right now. Let's run. Let's join another one. If it doesn't give me the examples I want right now, it's just the time. Because I noticed that they're definitely changing stuff up a little bit. Start that up again. We're just going to get in and get out so we can just get the capture real quick. $60 milliseconds in game. Let's see where we landed. Let's see what server we ended up on. Close that. Again, let's look at the PCAP. A 128 address. That one I'm not familiar with, so something new is going on here. Iowa. Zero build again, being routed to Iowa. It should not be going to Iowa. It should be going via AWS to Virginia, or it should be going to a Microsoft Azure in Virginia, not to Iowa. That is, why would they be routing Northeast traffic to Iowa? It's not healthy for the game, for the connectivity of the game. Okay. So let's do another regular build and see where we go this time. I'm gonna close this out, get rid of the old pcat file, and open up a new capture. Sorry, I was muted. This is an Ashburn route, so typically what I've been seeing is that Zero Build has been routed via AWS to Virginia, but when it's done, the 18.x prefix, it's terrible connectivity. If it's done through another prefix within AWS, not the 18.x space, then it routes okay and the latency is good. This is regular build, so this is where it should be routed. Oh, I meant, where's my... These timeouts are normal. Inside the cloud. Again, everything's good from my handoff. Perfect. This is the way the connectivity should work in Fortnite for both Zero Build and Build. See that right there? That's what we want. So they're treating Zero Build differently than regular Build. I don't know why. Both games, hopefully, this can't be like a server expense type thing. This game's too big for that. We shouldn't be going to Iowa. I don't care about matchmaking or whatever connectivity wise for the game, what's good for the game. We should be going to Virginia all the time. So keep that open. I wanted to try to get an example for a Zero Build. If not, I have plenty of them recorded. But I need a live 18x space IP that's live right now. Because when they destroy the server instances after the games, the IPs don't reply. So I just need an 18.x address to show the latency problem between this 18x space. There's something going on within the AWS architecture that's causing, I think, asymmetric routing back to me. Causing huge latency on the 18.x space. Again, it's 58. And my ping should be what? To Virginia, 26 milliseconds. I already have enough data. I'm going to leave the game, see where I landed. Close the PCAP. Server finder. And we want this one. Open. Okay, so we get an 18.x base. Now here's the majority of the problem with Zero Build. Now we have two different problems with Zero Build. Number one, when anyone from the Northeast is getting routed to this 18.x base for Zero Build only, there's a latency problem after the handoff. Okay, this end destination address, this server right here, which is good because we can now, it's a live server, so we're going to be able to test it. But you can see that this is physically located in Virginia. Okay, so my ping to this should be 26 milliseconds, 22 to 26 milliseconds, 30, etc., right? Not 60 to 80. So we're gonna just do a quick ping to that IP, and it's replying right now because it's live. This is representing in-game connectivity. The probe is testing connectivity to one of these addresses or a very similar address that has a good path. You can see the difference. Both of these IPs are in Virginia, by the way. Okay. You can see that from my trace, when I initiate the trace to the server, everything is good from my handoff. This hop right here is an 800 gigabit bundle that my ISP pairs directly with Amazon. It's a PNI interface directly to Amazon's core. So this handoff right here, the ping between this hop and this hop is 1 millisecond. You can't see that. I can see that because I have insight into the ISP. But sorry, I was looking at the wrong. I was wanted to look at the trace route to this guy here. Okay, it's the same thing. So this, not for this one, right? Actually, yeah, it is the same. No, this was a Microsoft route. Nope, that's the AWS. Okay. So the trace route goes from my handoff to a direct peer link right here to Amazon. This should be 22 to 26 milliseconds throughout. Whatever happens when it gets to the AWS infrastructure, our latency jumps up, and we can't see the hops no matter what you do. If you ping UDP, if you ping TCP, you just can't see hops inside the EC2 instances unless you have an EC2 instance active in that subnet. So Epic would have to find out what's going on here. But the question is, why do we have two geographically located IP addresses in Virginia? One pings 30 milliseconds, 26 to 30 milliseconds roughly, and the other one in this space, and it's always in this space. That's the problem. I have other Amazon AWS instances in Virginia that work correctly, but it's this 18x. Now this is I'm just talking about the issue with this 18x base, not talking about the Iowa reroute at this point. So the question for Epic Games is, and Amazon, because they're not rerouting the traffic to a central server in this particular situation. They were doing that earlier with the Iowa example and the Oregon example. Was it Oregon? I forget which one it was, but so again, why do we have two geographic IPs in the same location? One's pinging 60 to 80 milliseconds basically in peak, 50 to 80 milliseconds, sometimes higher to 100. Well, the other one's working fine. Yes, they're taking two different routes, but these two subnets are crossing equal Amazon peer paths on both sides of this ring. The 18x base is taking the other side. If you think of a ring, it's going out one side north and the other side south. These pings should be the same. 30 milliseconds to this 44 data address. They're going to the same location. So what's going on with this 18x scope? Subnet. This subnet. What is going on with this range? What's going on with the routing to this range? Oops. What is going on with my copy? Okay. That's the question for this example. And it's a big example because the majority of the server IPs are in this 18.x range for zero build. You never get sent to a build server in this 18.x range, a regular build mode. Okay, so again, what's going on? What I would like to know, if I was in Amazon's cloud, I would like to know what this reverse path looks like, because I know my path getting there is good. In fact, I know that every hop here is completely clean all the way up until this point. Everything is sub 20 milliseconds. And then again, if I ping this point-to-point address from here to here, it's 1 milliseconds on the handoff to Amazon. However, on the return path, if they were to trace route back to my IP address example, if I gave them that, or one of these point-to-point addresses right here, what's the path look like? Are we going? We have to be going to an asymmetric path to get back to the my ISP's autonomous system. Okay. Someone's got to look at that, or this is just going to continue going on for this particular issue. But it doesn't give me a lot of faith because they're rerouting traffic to Iowa servers and to was it Oregon? I forget which one we looked at. Ohio, sorry. So that's not good. If someone's doing that, then they probably have no idea what's going on with this, unfortunately, but it's a problem. It's causing everybody's latency for zero build to be terrible. Zero build, two problems. Number one, server traffic is being routed to Iowa via Microsoft. Server traffic is being routed to Ohio for zero build game modes. And then there's actually three problems. And then you have the 18.x base, which is correctly being routed to AWS Virginia. Their path going to the destination seems fine. But something on the return path is taking a different path to get back to the user. In this situation, it's me in New Hampshire, but it's many other people that are in the Northeast that this is occurring on. So that's the zero build problem. Build does not have the same problem. So what's the discrepancy here? Why are both of them different? And I'm going to do another build example right here just to see what we get. So let's play that. Let's open up the capture again. I'm going to get rid of the old captures in my folder so I don't, although I could look at timestamps, but that's okay. I'm going to grab the data and see where we're sent. Build only, not zero build mode. By the way, when you're playing a game with a better 30 to 35 milliseconds difference on your ping, you can feel it. People are saying the game feels clunky. The game feels non-responsive. you can feel the difference. Fortnite should want these paths to be optimal for their users. Again, we're at 93 milliseconds on this path that we're taking right now. Let's click into the game. You can see it's kind of, it's all over. 70. 40. This might be a, I'm sorry, wait a minute. This one is a Microsoft one, so it's stabilizing. We must be going to either, I forget, we're in build mode here. So I'm gonna exit out and just see where we landed on this one. It's in Virginia. I'm thinking it's in Virginia based on what I just saw, but let's take a look. Oh, look at it, it's the 44 space. So that's an AWS route, and that's in the same block as, let me see, is it in the same block as the test probe? Sorry for the coughing, guys. Okay, so we're in Ashburn, and this is a 44.192.0.0.11 subnet. Just see this real quick. Okay, so 192.0.0.11/11. So these are in the same. This server that we just landed on for regular build mode is in the same subnet as our ping probe that I was talking about earlier. This guy right here. Same subnet as all these 44 addresses. So that's confirmation that in order to get to AWS Virginia, we should be matching the ping probe in-game in the sub 20, 27 millisecond range. So whatever they're doing with build mode, they need to really just adjust it. If they don't want to fix the 18.x space in Virginia on what's going on there with Amazon, then they need to do the same thing that they're doing with the traffic for these regular build servers. Or people are going to continue to experience the latency. Okay. Threw me for a wrench there earlier because usually you don't see them rerouting regular build mode traffic to Iowa servers. So I guess it's really kind of all over the place, but it's way more prevalent for Zero Build. I don't know why. Okay. But the bottom line for Zero Build and build modes, the in-game latency of 26 milliseconds should match the ping probe latency that we're seeing here. And people say, oh, they migrated everybody's essential servers. No, that's not the case. Because every game we'd be being sent to a central server. And that's not the case. It is the case for the Iowa and Ohio routes. So they are routing game client traffic to Iowa servers and Ohio servers. They are doing that, which they shouldn't be doing. That could be due to matchmaking, but it's just not. It's unacceptable, really, as far as the latency. And I don't know why someone would make the decision to do that to the users. I just don't get it from a networking connectivity perspective. It makes me think that they're not aware of the 18.x problem. They have to be aware of it, though. I mean, I can't I can't imagine a game this big with their network team just not knowing this exists. We'll do one more. We're going to do a zero build again because we know build mode's good. We know that when we join a build mode server, well, we did get sent earlier to an Ohio server for build mode, but it's very rare. But zero build mode, it's either we get sent to the AWS in Virginia with the 18.x prefix that's broken. It has some type of asymmetric routing going on that's taking a higher latency path than the return path that I can't see. We have an Iowa reroute, which is ridiculous, to Microsoft. And we have an Ohio reroute. So 3 different problems for zero build. If you resolve the one problem for the 18.x space for the asymmetric routing in AWS, that's a huge block, by the way, and a lot of their servers are in that block, then you're gonna solve a lot of connectivity problems. But you still have the other 2 issues that they're obviously doing on purpose. They're rerouting the traffic, the Iowa traffic and the Ohio traffic. That's purposely being done. Fix it. I don't know why you're doing that, but anyway, everything should go to Virginia, and these paths should be optimized, and the routing should be, sub 28 milliseconds for Northeast people in the Northeast playing Fortnite for both build modes, by the way. And I won't even go into creative modes. We could, but creative modes don't have the problem at all. Creative modes are always sent to like a Microsoft server or an AWS server in Virginia. They never reroute. They're just creative servers are just, they're beautiful. In fact, let's just do a quick, because I just brought it up, let's join a quick creative match so we can display the difference there as well. Okay, so we're going to join a creative. We'll do 1 versus 1 every gun because it's a really popular one. Recents. Where are we here? This guy here. All right, and I'm going to start the capture up. Don't have another one running, right? Or do I? Wait a minute, do I have 2 running here? I do. Let's stop those. Clear out the capture files. And let's run that file again. Capture. Okay, so now we're doing a creative match to see where we land. When I get in this game, it is peak time right now, but when I get in this game, I would expect my ping to be 20 to 30 milliseconds. But it is peak time right now, so it could be a little bit elevated. We'll see. Okay, and there you have it. Let me mute these people. All right, so 27 milliseconds, right? We got enough data. Let's exit out and see where we landed. This should be the optimal scenario for games that Fortnite should want, is what we're going to see right here. Okay. Okay, we're in a 20x space, so I'm thinking that's a Microsoft Azure prefix, and it's in Virginia. And there you have it. Go to my close that one. Oh, this one's still running, so the script automatically runs a ping, the server analysis, and you can see that our ping 25, 23 milliseconds, and again, all my paths are good. This is our Microsoft peer, a direct peer with Microsoft. This is the way it should look for zero build mode. All the time. Zero build players should not have pings of 60 to 80 milliseconds on the Northeast when their destination servers are in Virginia, period. If they do, something's wrong. That's really the bottom line. So all the people that are complaining about zero build ping, the game feels clunky, my ping's jumping up and down, this and that. This is affecting you. What I'm going through right here. Let's close out of these. And for giggles, we're going to do one final one to a zero build server and see where we land. The behavior is a little bit different when we're not in peak times, I think. Is that the only one I have running? Let's see. Yep. Let's get rid of that old capture. And we're just going to join a zero build. All creative modes are good to go. There's no problem with them. Build mode, good to go. No problem with build mode. Client to server, pass. The problem is zero build. Let's get into a zero build match. Did I start the cap? I did. Okay, capture that data. This will be the final test to see where we land. And it's confusing for users. My ping says it's going to be 26 milliseconds. You get in game and your ping's 80 milliseconds. That's going to cause a complaint. It's going to cause unhappy customers of Epic Games in Fortnite. You want happy customers? Provide good latency. Match the latency of the actual in-game server to the latency probe. They should not be different. The latency should not be difference. There should be no discrepancy there. Unless you're in like some other huge, country across sea, they get terrible routing or whatever. Okay, so here's our example. You can see we're 60 to 70. We're jumping up to 80. Run around for a second. Actually, I was looking for that song real quick. Is he still going? Where is it? Alright. We got enough data. I'm exiting out. This will be the final test. Return to lobby. And let's see where we landed on that last one. And we're in the 18.x space. Okay, you can see there's something going on with this 18x space. Epic Games. Escalate to Amazon and find out what's going on with this return path. Within the EC2 instance AWS infrastructure. And there you have it. I'm sitting in New Hampshire, so I'm on the northeast of the United States. People in Boston, Connecticut. Actually, I've done this test from New York as well, and the problem exists there too with this 18x prefix. So there's something definitely prevalent with this 18x space that they need to take a look at with the routing. Okay. All right. So what are we at? God, that's 50 minutes. That's a long video. I don't know. I guess I'll let me mark that time and I'll clip this. If the ping for the servers is affecting you, then share this video. Comment with the trace route. Comment with a ping. Do the same thing I'm doing. Get the server IP. Post the route to the server IP. If you don't like and share the post that I'm going to make on this, then I feel like nothing's ever going to be done. Because this problem just exists right now, and it's been like this for like a month or more. It wasn't always like this, by the way. Something changed. Everybody's like, oh, they're rerouting the servers. They are doing some of that, but it's not the complete problem. There's something going on with the AWS routing in there in the Amazon infrastructure that Epic needs to work with AWS to fix.